Let's get into it. Soul Not For Sale podcast. I have the wife with me here.
Hello.
And we are talking about the dating game killer. Joe Rogan has just found out who this guy is. If you don't know who this guy is, you gotta watch this. It is a wild story. And the wife has actually found out some interesting, wild, crazy information about this gentleman as well. Things that kind of took me back. We're going to talk about that afterwards. Watch till the end for that. And don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We have all of this amazing Soul Not For Sale stuff. Even the shirt that I'm wearing right now that says Public Enemy #1. All of this stuff is available. Discount code is IamCoachColin. All capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin. Now let's get to the clip.
It's kids that were raised by horrible people in horrible environments, and they become that. That's most of it.
I watched.
I don't know how many people come out of the womb bad.
No.
You know, what
you're formed. You're formed. I watched those. I was watching one on 2020 the other day. Dude, I'm old now because I'm like watching 2020 and shit. I used to get so mad at my mom. I guess
is it on TV still?
Yeah, dude, it's on TV. They're in season 45.
At least.
Do you watch TV?
Oh, I watch like a little Netflix every now and then, or HBO or something like that.
No, I love TV.
TV, like with commercials.
I want to watch a commercial.
It's so crazy.
I'm like a nostalgia guy, bro. I'm like,
really?
You remember there was a time whenever we could not fast forward the commercial?
I remember it all. I remember I got a TiVo.
Yes.
You remember TiVo?
Yes, I do.
And you could pause TV.
You could
I'm
pause
like,
TV?
This is crazy. You could pause your TV.
Mind blown.
And then they started implementing it into DirecTV. We could just pause the feed.
Pause it right
this
now.
Is incredible.
Go to the kitchen, pause,
incredible.
come
I gotta
back.
take a leak, pause.
Like unreal.
Yeah, you don't have to run back in. What happened?
I want to watch a commercial. And commercials work on me too. Like, seriously, bro. I'm like the guy that I buy shit off of commercials. I'm like, yo, I got to see this because I'm like, oh my God, this is real. But I'm watching 2020 on TV because I want to like watch. I fast forward some. But I watched one called The Dating Game Killer, bro. The Dating Game Killer.
I heard about this one.
Dude was a serial killer back in the 70s.
And he was on The Dating Game.
He was on that's a bad person. Knowing he's got that many bodies out there and he's on national television.
How many people had he killed before he got on the
Bro, he killed a number. He killed a woman way back. Dude, could you imagine? Like growing up back, like being an adult in the 60s and 70s, nuts. There is no internet. There is no cell phones. Women that were out there in the world were at risk for serial killers because you couldn't track them. This woman and her husband, or boyfriend, had went up to like Montana. The boyfriend got mad at her, left her. Just left her. This guy picks her up, kills her. They don't find her till like 2000, bro. And she was, when they found her, they found that she was pregnant at the time. He killed her, and he killed a number of other ones. And then he went on the dating game show. He was a bad guy. And then
when you can find that video.
Bro.
The guy on The Dating Game.
The Dating Game Killer is what he was called.
I remember he looked real.
He looked scary too, didn't he? And then, bro, look at him. Look at him. They caught him because he was trying to take a little girl from a school. Hey, Joe, and when they finally got this dude at the end, Joe, they met him in jail because he had been rotting in jail for years. Look at all these women he got. Look at all these women he got.
God.
He was just a bad guy.
Jamie, can you go back to him talking? Can I hear him talking?
I mean, this is the Inside Edition report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see if...
I look really good. Called.
She picked him, Joe.
Is actually a serial killer.
I'm called the banana, and I look really good.
No one had any idea
About it.
Joe.
Imagine people were laughing at that back then.
Can you believe that?
I'm called the banana.
I'm called the banana. Like, some of the shit on TV was crazy.
Really good.
Hey, man.
Everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. He said the banana.
That gal was going to get killed by this guy.
Oh, my
but
God.
when they set them up on the date, she goes, he's very creepy. I don't like him. They said when they went to see this dude, he's he's dying in jail, and they start bringing up these women that they had found. They said it was almost like he was going to a place of euphoria. Because even though he was like on his deathbed and he couldn't move, he was thinking back to those times. That's a bad guy.
Oh my God.
He's like on the thing, like literally like losing his mind.
Oh my God.
Because he's thinking of killing this woman. Or like doing what he was doing to these ladies.
God.
It's nuts, bro. That's a bad guy.
They let him act as his own attorney in his third trial, and he self-examined himself for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, 2020. I'm telling you.
You're allowed to do that?
I mean, they probably this might be one of the last times. I don't know.
Are you allowed to do like whatever you want? If
You're out of your fucking
your
mind.
own attorney and you're out of your mind.
What? You're going to be your own attorney, you dumb fuck?
I remember there was a guy that killed a bunch of people on the subway in Long Island, And then he acted as his own attorney too.
They lose every time.
And so he was questioning the witnesses. He's like, "Bitch, you shot me. What the fuck you talking about? You fucking shot me."
You're lying.
Yeah, the
Really?
defendant says that.
Oh my
What
God.
are you saying? The defendant? That's you, bitch. You fucking shot me.
But that's just somebody that's really messed up.
Yeah, crazy people.
But they're like formed. They're not born like that.
No, I mean,
At least I don't think so.
Who knows what they're born like? There is problems. People do have mental illness that runs in families.
Yeah, they do.
That's real, man.
They do.
I know people that have it. It's weird.
It's very weird.
It's weird because it's like if you don't have it, and then you see other people that do have it, you go, "Whoa, what is that like? Like, what is schizophrenia like?"
Yeah.
There's, I know people that are out there.
Really?
Out there.
I've never met anybody with that.
I know
like,
people that come back and they start acting normal again, and they go out there again, and you never know which one you're going to get when you talk to them.
That's not good.
Yeah, not good.
Or manic. When the person's
Ooh,
manic,
yeah.
that's when they're really struggling.
Yeah, this is the guy.
Oh my God, the one thing I noticed was I could hear shots being fired already.
Solomon Butler is that man accused of shooting at Clements. Defending
Look at his
himself in
head.
court, Butler posed questions to the officer.
I don't think this
about
is the
their
one.
alleged
Wait, did you
exchange
see that guy's
of
head? Did that guy get
bullets.
shot in the head?
Oh my God, he did.
No.
In court, the injury to Butler's head was obvious. Officer Clements.
Wow, I've never seen anything like that.
He's missing a chunk of his head.
I've never seen anything like that.
I've seen a few things like
Really?
that. Yeah, people survive gunshot wounds and half their
It's
head's
just
missing.
half of the head's missing.
Yeah, and they can still function somewhat.
People can live
Strangely.
like in a lot of different circumstances where a lot of stuff's missing. It's crazy that they're still alive.
That's crazy.
That was nuts. His whole inside of his head's like dented in.
Yeah.
So where's his brain?
That part's probably not there anymore.
That part of his brain
Yeah,
is gone.
it's gone. Yeah, so I guess the rest of the brain has to pick up the slack or something.
Wow.
Or part of your body doesn't work well.
That's so crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a freaky looking image there.
Yeah. This was a different one, but it doesn't matter, Jamie.
Oh, that's fine.
It was a subway killer in Long Island. Yeah, man.
Serial killer.
There's a lot of fucked up dudes out there. Women love serial killer shows.
Why, dude?
Weird, right?
It's so weird because they're. But can a serial killer exist today?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, they exist.
No
there's
chance,
There's active serial killers. Yeah. for
How?
sure.
With all the stuff, like with
'Cause-
the DNA and the
Yeah.
videos and the cameras and the phones and the tracking.
Well, you have to have people looking for you, first of all, right? So you have to have left some sort of evidence
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah, well,
If-
you're right.
Like, there was a guy named Henry Lee Lucas, and there's a movie made about him called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I'm gonna watch
and,
that.
They don't know how much of this guy's story is true, because apparently he took credit for a lot of murders that he couldn't have done.
Yeah.
But he definitely killed a lot of people as well. And they would just pick people up randomly. They would drive around the country randomly, find someone and kill them.
That's so bad.
And if you do that randomly, it's hard to catch people.
yeah.
Like if it's your ex-husband and he's been following you, tracking you, and you wind up dead, they look to the ex-husband.
Yes, for sure.
The ex-husband's been stalking her. There's
Yes.
some shit going on, and then you break them down under questioning. But if it's just a random, if someone just pulls up to a bus stop and shoots
Shoot
someone
somebody,
waiting
yeah.
for the bus, and then gets back in their car and drives off, and no one sees it.
Yeah. Most times there is like it's weird, right? Somebody like is watching, because there was another guy that I watched. He was robbing a person of a drug deal or something, and the cops were questioning all the people and said, "Has anybody seen anything unfamiliar?" There was a white van parked, and this lady next door was like, "Was it this white van?" And she just had a picture. And it was what led to the guy getting caught.
Wow.
Because the lady it was 2 a.m, and she was randomly like up, which I don't understand why. And she saw a white van parked outside. She took a photo.
Wow.
And she gave him the license plate of the van that the people were using. So it's like, it feels like if you're doing something wrong, for the most part, somebody's going to witness it.
Well, the thing is, yeah, you're very likely to get caught.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if they go looking for you. But there was this one dude that studied. Did he go to school for criminal? He went to school for something to learn the laws so he could be a better serial killer.
What?
Yeah, and he stabbed a bunch of people in this house. Was it like a sorority house or a dorm house?
Yeah, the Idaho thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy, they think he killed some people in western, in the western states too. They think he killed some people in, I think it was Washington. Some people turned out missing. That it seems like. So this guy, like, was studying. He was pursuing a PhD in criminology. Yeah. So he's like studying crime while he's a fucking serial killer. Look at his fucking eyes.
All
man.
right, like, look at his eyes.
Look at those eyes.
Right, like, look at his eyes. Can you see in a person that, okay, this dude's a little messed up? Can you see that? Because there are people that say they can read people's energy and go, this person's energy is off.
Some people have off energy for sure.
You can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it with some people.
Do you feel like they're evil though? Have you ever been around somebody and go,
screwy.
this dude's a little evil,
I
man?
don't think of the word evil. I just think screwy. Like, this is something wrong here. This is a facade. There's some wild shit going on behind the surface.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yes.
you can't really tell from a photo. But
I can tell from a photo.
You think so?
I have a good track record with my friends who will be like, let me introduce you to this girl that they're talking to. And I will, within 1 second, they'll either show me a picture or they'll introduce me face to face. And within 1 second, I'll be like, she's crazy. Or I'll be like, she's amazing. And I'm always right. I've never been wrong once. I've never looked at anybody, especially when it comes to women, and been like, I'm off.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
There's something that's
Except with you. I messed up there. She's crazy, guys.
yeah, a little bit, but now you're stuck.
Kidding.
There's something that I don't know if it's like a psychological thing, but apparently there's more serial killers open their eyes wider. They just hold their eyes open wider.
Yes.
So you can see whites at the top and below their
Yes.
iris.
Yes.
So looking at the criminology guy that they were just talking about,
You can see it all.
you can see the whites all the way around.
Yep.
And then if I look at a quick picture of
The dating
game guy, his is very close. I can see it below.
Wow. Yeah, you can see the full.
Yeah.
But you know they say that when what you're talking about, seeing someone's eyes, that's an indication that something is wrong.
Yes.
Like just
exactly.
like I can't say what health thing, but like something's wrong.
Yeah, but it's like a stress response almost. It's like when somebody opens their eyes that wide, they have like I don't know, either they're like really stressed out or they're hunting.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's what I heard about it. So it makes sense that like you'd see somebody like that and be like, oh, something's not right.
I'm never like that. Like my eyes look big. Like I look like I'm Asian with my eyes. I do.
Just chilling.
Yeah, always. I have my dad's eyes. It's crazy that he was a paratrooper and like serving the country and running around doing things with eyes like this. Because I can't even open them wide. I can't do it.
It feels so unnatural.
It's so stressful. But like I said, we have some weird information on this guy.
Yeah.
Very weird guy. Very weird guy. Very bold guy, I might add, as well. To know what you're doing and you're out there doing it, and to be this person.
Like on the show?
Yeah. To go on the show and think, this is fine.
Yeah, because at this point he had already committed crimes and been convicted of some as well.
Yeah.
So one of the first crimes he committed was against a little girl. I think she was like 8.
Wow. Okay.
And didn't end with her
Yeah.
finished.
Well, yeah.
But her family ended up leaving the country and went to Mexico. So moved her down there.
To get away from him?
I think, well, it was clearly a trauma.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they were just trying to find a fresh start.
Okay.
So when they moved down there, they didn't have like a witness for this crime anymore. So he
does look evil.
He does. Yeah, exactly. So he was charged, but not with what he actually did. He got like a lesser charge and ended up in prison for 3 years.
Okay, so this is before the serial actions?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened with the serial actions?
Well, he had committed some crimes of that nature.
Because in this video...
Before that, even. So
wow.
When he appears in this video, he had already started his serial rampage.
Yeah.
And he had that crime that he went to prison for 3 years.
Because they say that in this video, because I'm not sure if we can play the audio, just copyright stuff, but they're talking about 100, more than 100?
Yeah, so it's suspected that it's over 100. But I think he's actually been convicted of, I think it was like 11 or something.
Wow.
Because he was a photographer.
Wow.
So they found many photos
really?
that could be related to missing persons cases.
Jeez.
And he had also committed crimes in both LA and New York.
Oh, in case anybody's wondering, the gentleman that's on the screen right now, he was sitting with him on the dating show.
Yeah, this guy.
He's this guy when he was younger, and he's just talking about how when he first met this guy, the guy, the serial person, the dating game guy, he pulled him in close and said, "I always get my girl." And
That's so crazy.
And that threw this guy off a lot. And years later, he realized, oh, that's what he meant. He meant he's gonna get her in the sense of how he does things.
Yeah, but how crazy is it that that girl in the show picked him and then saw him and immediately had some kind of reaction as well and was like, I'm not going out with him, he's creepy.
Yeah, he's creepy and I don't want to be around him.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That's insane. Like, she had to have seen something.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it was the eye thing, who knows?
Maybe it was the eye thing, maybe it was how he was talking.
Or just like how he looked at her and approached her.
Look.
Ew, gross. I think any woman would see that and be like, ooh.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. But you know what? People have a way of doing that. You know, I think it was it was on Joe Rogan's podcast as well. Somebody was on a date with Ted Bundy.
Oh, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, and she was like, she was on the date with him. She's like, I want to go. Like,
yeah.
Like, take me home kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then her brother, I think she called her brother. Her brother went over to her place, and Ted Bundy, the guy, which they didn't know is like the Ted Bundy at the time, was like hiding in the bushes.
Yes, I remember that.
He was like, what? Like,
that's so crazy.
So nuts. So nuts. Some people do that.
Yeah.
And the conversation only sparked, like on Joe Rogan, the clip you just saw with Daniel Cormier, it only sparked because they were talking about some people are just bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Or they were talking about, are some people bad or are they programmed? Because Rogan was saying, like, no one comes out of the womb just bad.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, things have to happen to you. Something has to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because I was just talking with my buddy Oliver, and he was talking about there's this new movie out. It's called, I think I was telling you, I was telling you this morning. It's called In Utero by Gabe Mate. He's a well-known doctor.
Oh, yeah. I have one of his books.
Yeah. He's a very well-known guy. And he was talking about the impact of speaking to a baby in the mother's stomach still. You know, how much that impacts, how much what they're hearing and what they're going through and what the parents are going through impacts.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a question of, Rogan says, and that's like a lot of the girls that you're seeing on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Rogan was saying how nobody comes out that way. And through that movie, it's kind of arguable that you could come out that way. Maybe not directly like thinking of what you're going to do because you're a baby. Right?
Yeah.
But the programming could be set to lean towards bad behavior. Not even behavior. You can't classify the behavior, but like some kind of bad behavior.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me because if you think about like a baby in utero, they hear like tones of voices as well.
Yes.
And humans are so attuned to that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't even like hearing like videos of people fighting. Like even as a prank, it doesn't like raises my stress hormone. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think the same thing could be for babies. Mm-hmm. So if someone is talking to them in a nice voice, like a loving parent, it's very soothing. Yeah. Versus if they hear like fights and things going on around them.
Yeah, exactly.
It would prime them to come out to be ready for a situation.
True.
That involves a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I was saying right here, you know, this is how they made him look for the movie. That's kind of like they're doing some kind of docu-series on him. It's a little insulting.
It is very insulting.
I get it. You don't like the guy. He did terrible things, but come on. This is crazy. What is this?
He's even like licking his lips.
So weird. So weird.
Horrible.
But I guess that's what happens, right? You do some horrible stuff. They're like, we're not depicting it. You're not getting
I feel like
Johnny
that should
Depp.
be a rule.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
You shouldn't get Zac Efron to play Ted Bundy. It should be someone, I don't know. This is me, like Seth Rogen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Ted Bundy
that
now.
way it's like when it's seen in the history books, kind of, it's
Yeah.
like, ew, these gross
Exactly.
men. Yeah.
So it's not like
True.
Like girls are like envisioning being with him.
Yeah, because they did that with the marathon person who planned an attack at the Boston Marathon.
Oh yeah.
And they put him on like Rolling Stone.
That's
like, and
disgusting.
they made him look sexy.
Ugh.
It was so weird. It was like, what is this?
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
Rolling Stone is they've become garbage. I'm just saying, they've become very left leaning.
Yeah, I feel like if they are making like videos about that, you should A, get like a very unattractive person to do it, and B, have your name changed slightly so it's like
silly sounding.
A little like not silly, but like just so it's not you.
True.
Because
yeah. So you
so
don't. So you
many
don't
of
get
them
the.
love it.
Yeah. They actually do that in. I want to say it's either Japan or China, and it might even be in parts of Europe where they do not name the person.
I think you were saying like Sweden. We had that conversation
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, they make
where
sure
they
not to
will
name
not
them.
name the person, and they'll only talk about the names of the victims.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't get that clout,
Yeah.
that fame that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Good. I like it.
Yeah.
But what did you find out about this gentleman?
Well, I found out.
What's his name, by the way?
Oh gosh. So he was initially born Rodrigo Jacques Alcala, but he changed his name to Rodney James Alcala.
Really?
Yeah.
Changed his name.
Yeah, because he wanted to be more American, I guess. His parents were Mexican immigrants.
Wow, really?
Yep. So he was born in San Antonio, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess when they were like 3, I think. The dates here are kind of fuzzy. But basically his parents moved them back to Mexico for a little bit. And then 3 years later, his father abandoned the family.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's not great. And then his mom moved the family back to Los Angeles, which is kind of the area he stayed in through a lot of his crimes.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, that's him in 1979.
Mm-hmm. And he was on the show in 78.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which is like quite late in his spree.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy.
So nuts that
Yeah.
that's able to happen.
Yeah.
And then going back to what Rogan, well, I'll have you pull up whatever you're going to pull up here, talk about. But going back to what Rogan was saying, what Daniel Cormier was saying. By the way, they're friends because Daniel Cormier is a former UFC champion, heavyweight, long fighting rivalry with John Jones. If you know about that, it was a wild rivalry they had. That's how they know each other. Such good friends. They do commentary together in the UFC. Just really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the conversation they were having about feeling people's energy, I think that's a thing.
Yeah.
I think you can feel it.
100%.
Yeah. I think you can point it out. Tucker Carlson talks about it a lot, actually. He's like, if you feel like someone's lying to you, he's like, they're lying. He's like, you may not know how or why or whatever it is, but there's something there. He's like, you got to trust that. He's talking about like just what he teaches his children. He's like, if someone feels deceitful, he's like, you're right. There's something, you don't know what it is. It may not even be the thing that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
But you're right in some way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's something to think about.
For me, it's like I can feel when people are anxious.
Mm.
And that's like a big one for me. Like I can if somebody's upset about something or anxious about something, it like vibrates off them.
Yeah. I can definitely feel sadness, anxiety. Sadness is a big one though.
Yeah.
Anger.
Usually it's like the negative emotions because
Yeah.
it seems to be like stronger.
But I can feel the positive ones too.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Like I know when somebody's like good, like really good.
That's good.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it really throws you off because people are the only, maybe there's some animals that do it, but they're the only creatures that will have negative things inside of them, thought processes of maybe what to do to you or someone else, but present themselves as like really happy and joyful.
That's true.
And it's rough.
Yeah.
It's a rough thing to have to think about. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Where were you going?
Well, he was arrested in 1979 for the first time for the more serious of his crimes.
Okay.
And he ended up having 3 trials, this guy, because there was like a couple things that were like considered mistrials, things were overturned.
Okay.
So he had trials in like 1979, which was his first, 1992, and then 2003.
Really?
Yeah. So they weren't like back to back. So he was in prison this entire time, but it was just very, very kind of strange situation.
Okay.
And in his final prosecution, so the third time in 2003, he chose to represent himself as a lawyer, which is what they were talking about in the video a little bit. But it's so funny when people do that. Like, especially they have like zero training. Like they were talking a little bit about the different guy who studied criminology and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's still not like, you're not a lawyer.
No, you're not a lawyer, and also it'll be hard to go up against a lawyer.
Yeah.
Someone that has that training.
But then one of the funniest bits is that, so he took the stand in his own defense and for 5 hours asked himself questions, and he would change his voice.
Oh, wow.
So as a lawyer, he'd be like, Mr. Alcala, and then ask a question.
Wow.
So he would like deepen his voice when like asking himself in the third person.
Really?
About these whatever.
What a guy, eh?
I know, it's so crazy.
Well, you know, he's such a...
Can you imagine? It's like performance art at that point.
Yeah, he seems like, especially when you look at this whole video that I have of him, he seems like he wants that kind of attention, you know, to kind of be fawned over. He seems like he wants some fame and some clout.
Yeah.
Like he seems like that.
Yeah, which is especially true as well because he actually showed the video of him on the show.
This show?
At the trial.
Really?
Yes. And his point, I keep looking at it because if you pause it there, he was saying that part of the evidence they found was that they found one of the victim's earrings in his storage locker.
Okay.
But he was saying, oh no, those are mine. I was wearing them on the show. You just can't see because of my hair.
Okay. Interesting.
Just bizarre.
Smart. Smart guy. But
it's like, it's not like it shows them in the thing. So it's like he just wanted to show people the show.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean.
Going back to your point.
Like,
there was no reason to show this because it doesn't actually prove his point.
Show me when I was in my heyday, when I was young, and beautiful.
And handsome and whatever else.
And I was getting over on people.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's like, look at this girl who wanted me.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the guys who I beat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a wild dude.
Very strange.
What a wild dude. To go on a game show. But speaking of, is there more on him representing himself?
A little bit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Just going to representing yourself. There was actually a guy, a huge trafficker. His name was Freeway Ricky Ross. So, you know Rick Ross, there's a rapper named Rick Ross.
Yeah.
So he stole his name from this guy. This guy actually was doing things. We should actually do an episode on him. I never thought of that. He's been on Rogan's podcast too. He was moving so much of drugs, and it was connected to the CIA. There was like a direct connection to the CIA, almost to the point where it was like they were allowing him to do it, and he didn't know. It was very weird. It's very interesting. We should do an episode on it. But that gentleman went to he went to jail. He was in jail. Didn't know how to read when he got into jail. Learned how to read. Learned the laws. Realized that they charged him for something. I think it was like some double jeopardy or something like that. They charged him in a way that they couldn't.
Yeah.
He learned that. Went and represented himself as like a jailhouse lawyer kind of thing, and actually won.
Wow.
And got released.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that great? Didn't know how to read.
That is so crazy.
Nuts. Nuts. But does admit, like, you know, he talks about it avidly that he was doing wrong, and he admits that he was running streets and like doing stuff, but
yeah.
Wild situation. But yeah, go ahead with this maniac.
Well, the last point I wanted to make was in his closing arguments, he played this song that was called Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah.
Which we were listening to a bit before. Of course, we can't play it now. But also, this song is 18 minutes. And it's nonsense.
Yeah, if you want to listen to the song, go ahead. We're not going to make a 2-hour episode out of this or an hour episode out of this. Definitely listen to the song.
It's so crazy.
You want.
Just skip through it. Look up the lyrics. It's very odd.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Look up the lyrics. It's such a weird song for him to play.
And at one point, there's a big verse about like basically the whole song is like him telling a story.
Yes.
So the story goes that this guy is like talking to a psychiatrist, talking very vividly about offing people. And he says the word again and again and again and again, like yelling it.
So that was like was that the main part he played, or did he play the whole song?
He played the whole song.
Wow. And that was his closing testimony.
Yeah.
So weird. Like he became crazy, basically.
Yep.
I mean, like what I showed everybody here when I was showing him, this is him in his older age here. So maybe he just, he was tired of just being the old guy.
He looks like a librarian.
He looks like Howard Stern's brother or something. That's what he looks like. He just got old. Kept the hair. Got really old. Probably a little crazy. And
Does it say when that picture's from?
no, it does not. It does not say it at the bottom. Does not say it at the top.
Weird.
This was published 2023.
Yeah, he was on death row though, but because of how spread out his trials were, they did not do.
They extended it.
No, they just didn't do executions by the time he was actually
Wow.
convicted because it was so spread out.
You never know. Like, as much as people don't like people who go to prison and think poorly of them, they do learn about little things like that, where he could have learned, like, this might go away. Okay, I have to just keep appealing. I have to keep talking. I have to keep presenting little points. They do try to do that, a lot of them. They get pretty clever when they're in there because they have nothing to do but think about that situation.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And obviously it forces some of them to go crazy. But yeah, wild stuff.
Yeah.
Close call. Serial. And won. Yeah, that's the craziest part, that he won the game.
Yeah, right?
I wish there was an interview with the girl.
Yeah, that'd be scary. Well, they made, I think it was like a Netflix movie or something.
Oh, yeah?
With Anna Kendrick.
Okay.
About the show. So Anna Kendrick plays that girl.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know what it's about. I don't know where it goes, but
Well, it's probably just touching on that.
Netflix loves that stuff right now.
Yeah, Netflix does a lot of that. Oh, he died. He died in 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway. Died in jail. Yeah.
But not really good, but you know. Like, he shouldn't be working on getting free. It's not really fair, especially if there's hundreds of girls.
Yeah.
Like, that's
And
terrible.
especially when it's like there's no closure either.
Yeah, for all those people.
Like, it could just be like missing persons.
Because
they don't know.
If it's 100, you've affected like 1,000 people.
Yeah, at least.
You know, when it comes to family and everything.
Yeah, it's massive.
Friends, like everything. You've
Yeah.
affected so many people.
And some of them, the crimes he committed were in the 70s, and they didn't find out until the early 2000s that it was him, because they finally were able to like run DNA evidence. But they didn't have that ability in the 70s and 80s.
What a crazy time.
Right?
You know, like,
I guess that's why they were talking about, like, do you think serial whatever's
could exist today
now?
Oh yeah, and they can. We have a I guess you could say family friend who had to work on a case like that.
Yeah.
And
He's a, like, special investigator.
Yeah, he was hunting a person that was like that, and they ended up catching him. But the things that this family friend had to do was like, whew.
Yeah.
Like, had to pose in chat rooms, with very weird chat rooms, and
like dark web type stuff.
yeah, like so weird, so weird, so weird. It's even on Netflix.
It is.
He's on there, but I don't want to say his name.
No.
He's a good guy, though. Really good guy. He did great work. Great work.
Yeah.
But yeah,
guy.
but I only bring that up to just say, yeah, they can exist today. Like, definitely.
They just have to be sneakier.
Well, sneakier, or like Rogan was even saying, more random.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Like, I don't know.
Like, Rogan made a good point because he said you have to like reduce the evidence. So he was going with like evidence of motive, but the one that our family friend caught was the physical evidence.
Yes.
Was being hidden, so nobody could find where they were.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So if there's no victim, then how can you say there's a crime that was committed against them?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was a very interesting thing to even talk to him about, because I actually got to speak to him about it, and I was like, ugh, jeez.
Yeah.
I would love to interview him about
Especially
that.
when you like you have a wife and young kids. That's just like
Yeah, all that
horrible.
stuff. And the thing is, it's like, it's horrible for you at that point, because you have to shield them,
Yeah,
because
and
you can't even
talk
bring it
about
up.
Yeah.
You can't even say anything.
Yeah.
so
but you're
weird.
just sitting with that knowledge all the time, and you can't vent to anyone.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess only the people you work with.
yeah, exactly. It's very interesting how some people pop out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty wild. What else did you got on
Yeah,
him?
that was about it.
Yeah, go
Crazy
ahead.
guy.
What was that song called again? Allison's Restaurant?
Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah, by, what was it? Algo?
I
Algo.
don't remember. Let me see.
I think his name's like Al Rowe.
It's the longest song I've ever seen in my life. Arlo Guthrie.
Yeah, you can check that song
Guthrie.
out,
I
and
don't
that, and if you hear that song, that was his closing testimony, which kind of proves like what a psycho this guy is.
Yes. I can just picture him like sitting there, like nodding his head, like all solemn, like, yes,
Yeah.
this is exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So weird.
It's
So
some
weird.
like satirical thing about the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It was supposed to be like funny, but then all of a sudden it gets brought into that context and it becomes weirdly sinister.
Yes, very.
All right, guys. Anyway, that's it for you?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, perfect. Subscribe, like the video. It all helps so much. You have no idea. And hit up IamCoachColin.com. And other than that, we are out.
Bye.